It's not worth winning if you can't win it!
Welcome back, everybody, to the Cake Eaters podcast. On this week's episode, we're tackling Mighty Ducks Game Changers, episode 2, titled Dusters. In this episode, Alex really starts to realize that she's in way over her head with this hockey stuff. And I believe Evan comes to grips with the fact that this is not going to be a fun season. So with that said, my name's Brandon. I got my co-host Heath with us.
What's up, Brandon? Episode 2. Some dusting is happening. I'm not quite sure I understand the name of the episode, but it was a solid follow-up to episode 1. And I think that, like you said, Evan is realizing that not only do they have to learn how to skate, but they have to play against another team very soon.
Yes, and they are going to get run over. And I'm glad you brought up the episode title, because that was really throwing me for a loop. I watched this episode like 2 or 3 times. Still don't know what Dusters means. Don't know where that's coming from. But
maybe the coaching position is leaving Alex in the dust because she's in way over her head coaching these youths.
Maybe. I'm wondering if it's like some sick hockey lingo that we just don't know.
Yeah. And maybe that's on us. You know, I'm no hockey expert by any means, but I sure do like to bandwagon onto the Avs when they start making playoff runs.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we should have done. Maybe it's like a. I got nothing. I was trying to think of some hockey lingo or something that would work. The only thing I could think of is like a broom duster, but that would only make sense. Is anybody nobody's using a broomstick while they're in the practice, are they? Because they're definitely using some weird ass equipment. Wouldn't be surprised if somebody had a broom.
There is such a thing as like broom ball, where you play like at the ice rink, where you cut the ice in half. But no, the broom dusters is just an old New York hockey team in Binghamton.
I'm pretty. Whenever we release this and people start listening to it and they send us feedback, they're going to light us up because it's probably the most obvious name of the episode and we just can't connect it for some reason. But that's on us. That's our bad.
And you know what? We're human. We're not dialing in on this podcast because we're knowledgeable experts. We're doing it because we are passionate ducks, because we eat, sleep, quack, repeat. And I will say it over and over again, my friend. Eat, sleep, quack, repeat. That's what we do. So if our facts are wrong, you can just shove it up your ass, my friends. No, I'm sorry. That was too aggressive. I didn't really mean that to
They can suck it, though, Heath. They can suck it.
Back to the... Okay, so that's a great rewind back to the episode. We pan in on our personal favorite, Nick the Stick, who just absolute runaway best character of the show so far. And he's doing a quick recap as still part-time podcaster.
Yes, he's still part of the podcast, which sounds like it could be a huge conflict of interest, which he does call out to his benefit. He makes it known in the podcast that he is in bed with the Don't Bothers. He's part of the team.
Fully embedded in the team.
Yes. And so his analysis is definitely going to be a little biased, but that's I guess it's okay because they're only the second best Southeastern Minnesota youth podcast. That's probably why they're number 2, is because they're a little bit biased.
Exactly. Their views and opinions will skew to that personal bias. That's what happens when you're number 2. You're just not going to bring all the heat like that number 1 podcast.
No, yeah. When you're number 2, you got to find your niche. Sometimes that's catering to a specific viewpoint.
And I mean, I really love the fact that he's just going to walk around recording himself on his iPhone constantly. It's definitely not going to help him in the friends department, but personally, I would love for someone to do really nice recaps of my life into their phone.
Yeah. Well, when he's doing the phone, he's providing like great color commentary on not only the events that are happening, but the emotional state of the people that he's with. not to jump too far ahead, but at the end of the episode, he's after the Ducks, after the Don't Bother's first game. I'm already messing stuff up. After the Don't Bother's first game, he's in the locker room and he's doing the podcast again, doing a little quick recording of it, and he's talking about the emotional weight that just happened for the entire team.
He delivers. That's all I have to say about that. And then why also I had this, why does every coach have to be like coach first letter of their name, Coach A? And I love how the team just instantly like, hey, it's Coach A, and everyone's like, no. I love
that they didn't respond to that they just let it. It was the same thing with the end of the first episode when Lauren drops the Don't Bother name and Coach T just like brushes it off like whatever.
Yeah, it's a terrible name.
Yeah,
if you want really embarrassed.
It was the same reaction. It's like, are you sure you want to call yourself that? Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see your logo.
We do get to see the logo though, in the first episode or the second episode. They dropped she brings out the jerseys. Not a great logo, just this word mark. It says Don't Bothers with a hockey stick that underlines the
well, what else are you going to do with such a terrible name? Like she literally had no options.
It was either that, or if you want to get like kind of like old school with it, you could do like an interlocking DB, but that might not land as well. You know, people wouldn't realize it stands for Don't Bother. They'd be like,
dumb bitch.
I was going to say District B, but
dumb
bitch works too.
It's easily mistaken in modern nomenclature.
That's true. Especially with these 12-year-old kids and how vicious they are. They would absolutely call it. They would absolutely think it stands for dumb bitch.
I'm also not super sold on the color scheme. It has a very like 1950s Packers where it's like the yellowish and brown, right? Was that what it was, or am I colorblind?
Yeah. It was like a
yellow and brown.
It's a real soft yellow though. It's not bright. It's like muted, I guess is what you would call it. But yeah, and then like a dark brown. Very similar to, for the hockey fans out there, it's very similar to some of the old Boston Bruins jerseys. Even similar striping as well.
Okay.
But
either way, tough uniforms, tough logo. But that's what happens when you're a Don't Bother. You don't bother to have a good logo or mascot. But okay, so
I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised they got those because they look like great quality jerseys. You know, they even got they all have matching socks as well. So that little youth hockey surplus she found really doing wonders.
Yeah, I mean, between the ice time and in those uniforms, like she did excellent. We'll get into the equipment later and the amount of theft that went into there, and as an adult and a parent, the jail time that more than likely would have taken place. But we'll get into that in a little bit.
Can you get jail time for that?
I don't know, because
you
steal stuff that people lost.
Yeah, if something, because once something goes into the lost and found, I feel like there's no owner anymore. It's possession is 9/10 of the law here, Heath.
So they're stealing from the rink. That's the rink's property.
Yeah, stealing from the Ducks. Because you know why, Heath? The Ducks can suck it. That's why.
She did double down on that. Okay. So speaking of Alex and questionable coaching decisions, let's jump in to this first practice, because this is my first tangent and it is one of my favorite parts of the episode, actually. And it started right away. And it was, so Evan is fired up, ready to get on the ice, ready for the team to get ready. Let's go. Let's get to skating. And Mom Alex follows that, excitement up with, hey, today we won't be touching the ice, but we will be breaking the ice. Absolutely one of my favorite lines of the episode, where she then has them play a game called Outside In.
Yeah, Outside In, but she also refers to the game as a passing drill, because she has what she call it, the puck of truth or the puck of honesty, something like that.
The puck of truth.
Puck of truth. Yeah. And then they're passing each other and then completing the Outside In game.
where they're saying something on the outside that people observe, but then what they don't always see on the inside. Am I getting that somewhat right?
That's spot on. Yeah.
Spot on. Okay.
Spot on.
And so, I mean, between the two of us, Brandon, I do feel like for the hundreds of listeners out there, maybe we should play a quick game of Outside In. I don't know if you have it.
I do not have anything. You go first, though. Give me some time to think about this.
Okay. I also didn't put a lot of thought into this, but I will say that on the outside, I like to think that people see a mixture of a wizard and a dwarf, and maybe also like part Wookiee in there too. That's what people see on the outside, that those combinations of characters. But on the inside, I hope that they see maybe some version of Zac Efron, circa Baywatch filming, because I think that that's how I feel on the inside. And I feel like, that's the perception that people should see when I'm running down the beach on Tybee Island.
Okay, that's pretty solid. I see where you're coming with the Wookiee / dwarf. You lost me at wizard, though.
I just feel like I'm magical.
That seems like more of an inside thing, though, not an outside thing.
That's true. All right, let some of that inside show on the outside.
Oh gosh. For me, I would probably go on the outside. People probably see a slightly taller than you would think leprechaun. And then on the inside, I feel like I'm just a tiger ready to roar. I feel like.
But do you think? Are you one of Carol Baskin's?
No, absolutely not. I would no. I'm a free range tiger. Free range. Wild, as some would say.
That's how I prefer my wildcats. Is free range.
Yeah. Like a Shere Khan vibe, except I'm planning on not dying in a fire. Spoiler alert for the jungle.
I actually saw an article. There was a free range big cat roaming through Houston, I believe, which is no surprise there. I used to live in Houston. It's super super ratchet.
Was it Mike Tyson? Does Mike Tyson live in Houston? Was that his?
No, but there was a free range tiger just moseying through a neighborhood.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah. You don't get that anywhere. I feel like Houston, Vegas, you could probably Miami, you might get it. Outside of those three, I don't think you're getting wild tigers roaming around.
But with the outside in game too, we had some nice answers from the team when they started passing around the puck of truth.
Absolutely amazing. Way better than ours.
Yeah, it's almost like ours weren't scripted or written down by someone that does it professionally.
I know. We got to get a script writer. We should work on that.
Yeah. If anyone wants to donate their services, we're open. We're free.
Yeah. Send us an email. thecakeeaterspod@gmail.com.
But I think we can start with Nick the Stick. Didn't he go first with the puck of truth, because he had
Nick was last. First up was I think Lauren went first, didn't she? I think Lauren did.
Or no, it was Sam, the wild card, because he
not Lauren.
started.
I'm messing up her name. I was thinking Alex, Lauren Graham. The fact that there's a kid whose character's name is Lauren.
Yeah.
Really going to trip me up here.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sam's the first kid to go. Yeah, because he talks about his spleen and how it's not there anymore.
He's the wild card. They set it up in the first episode. They're going at it again. They're letting us know Sam is a wild card. On the outside, he's a little bit crazy. On the inside, he's missing his spleen due to a stop sign accident. I guess it's not an accident if it's purposeful.
Well, the act was purposeful. The result was the accident. The result of losing the spleen.
Yeah. I'm no doctor, but I feel like losing your spleen at a young age could have some reciprocal effects into adulthood.
I don't think so. I'm now, granted, not a doctor, but I'm fairly certain spleens are just utterly useless.
Oh, okay. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, then it's just a great story.
Yeah. Bringing it back to hockey. The reason I know, or I shouldn't say I know, because again, I'm not a doctor. The reason I'm thinking spleens are absolutely useless is because I forget exactly what year, but the Colorado Avalanche had a player called Peter Forsberg, one of my favorite players of all time, arguably the greatest Swedish-born hockey player to ever live. But I forget what year it was, but sometime during the playoffs, it was like in the middle of the playoffs, he gets hurt, his spleen ruptures, he has surgery to remove his spleen, and then like 2 weeks later, he's back and he's playing in the playoffs again.
Oh, okay, perfect. So spleen is pointless. Sam's fine.
Especially in hockey, you definitely don't need your spleen for hockey. Definitely.
Okay, perfect. So he has license to carry on being the wild card.
If anything, this is going to make him a better hockey player because he's closer, in makeup to Peter Forsberg. He has something in common with Peter Forsberg, so he's going to be better off without a spleen. Think of all the extra weight he just lost. How much faster he can go.
And so after our friend Sam, minus the spleen, it goes over to Maya, I believe. And Maya,
terrifying Maya.
Oh, absolutely crushes it. Great insight onto what horrifying little creatures youths can be these days. But she starts it off on zeroing in on weakness and destroying the person, and just immediately tease up on Alex with her puffy vest from 2017. And my favorite bit that she did, she's like, I would just from now on start just saying things from 2017 at you. So, fidget spinners, Lego Batman movie.
Well, then
it's just like, wow, that really would psychologically just like slowly chip away at you. Just like every time you meet this person, just yelling something from 2017.
Well, then Alex responds back and she's like, well, this is like my favorite puffy vest because it's got so many pockets here, so many useful pockets. And then Maya goes, wow, I guess pockets were big in 2017.
Yes. Just puts a nice exclamation point on the fact that, like, yes, I do know what I'm doing here and I will destroy you. Yeah. And she's in Alex's head. Like, I'm sorry, she's in her head.
Oh, yeah. It comes back around later in the episode, fully in her head.
Fully in her head. And then you mentioned Lauren before, because Lauren also does an excellent outside in where Lauren, female warrior, everyone thinks she says for her outside, similar to you calling yourself a wizard on the outside, she mentions that on the outside everybody sees that she's a female warrior. She is like, I get Lauren in a very big way here, just absolutely crushing it. But then she rounds it out by talking about on the inside, she used to be scared of death until she realized that everybody is just we're all walking towards vast nothingness, just waiting for us, whether you're popular or whether you're a nerd. And
doesn't she make eye contact with Maya when she says whether you're popular or not?
Yeah. Just walking towards a vast nothingness. And I absolutely loved every second about that. And then Alex is like, holy shit. Okay, Lauren making us aware of our own mortality. Like, trying to, like, all right, let's go to the next person because Lauren
keep it moving. Well, then the next one is no better. The next one's Coob, who delves into a Matrix rant.
Oh, even better. Even better. On the outside, he's a gamer. On the inside, it feels like we're all a series of ones and zeros living in a simulation, which he may not be too far off. Like, you can't sit here and tell me honestly that there's not some conspiracy theory out there with their version of proof that there was a glitch in the Matrix and that's why coronavirus happened last year. So like if anyone wants to research after they've listened to this and they want to send the podcast conspiracy theory.
Don't open
no,
this.
I'm kidding. Us living in a simulation. But no, Coob's answer was hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, he was fantastic. Yeah. To go from Lauren to Coob was just a real dark for a kids show.
It went in a weird and then Evan brings it back to reality and kind of a little bit, it feels like a buzzkill because the other two were so insightful, but in reality, like, we talked about on the last episode, some of these kids can barely even skate. So, Evan's got a point when he's like, hey, Evan, I like hockey. I want to play hockey. We should go play hockey. We should go skate like hockey.
Yeah, because there's when you put together a hockey team full of kids who can't skate, the best course of action is to not let them skate. We don't even need to touch the ice. We're fine.
But Alex was not wrong. They did break the ice because there was some excellent stuff. Because even Logan comes in next, and I loved his lines too. He's got a solid head of lettuce, which it's been a long time since I felt the thrill of a solid head of lettuce. But that's here and there.
Never had that thrill. Never.
Yeah, I back in the day. Now it's just a solid head of clear hair. Rocking through there, but we learned that Logan loves dogs. His parents are getting divorced because his mom cheated on his dad.
Yeah, he got real personal there.
And then he rounds it out with he also loves cats. So kicks it off with loving dogs, finishes it off with loving cats. So we got an animal lover in Logan.
That's true. That was the classic good, bad, good sandwich he did there.
Yeah, he really hit the sandwich method with loving dogs. Parents are divorced because his mom cheated, and your cats are cool too.
Yeah, and then it kicks over to Nick, who has my favorite answer. I forget what he said. What does he say on the outside? I forget exactly what he says.
He's just he has two moms who surprise him every day in the best way possible, and he's a huge hockey fan, something like that.
Oh yeah, he's glad to be playing again. And then he hits you with the inside, and then he gets on the inside. I look like Logan, just probably a little bit taller.
which obviously inspired my Zac Efron answer, but it absolutely was the best answer. Nick the Stick, bringing the comedy gold. He's got excellent timing throughout it. I need to scope out his IMDb to see what really led him to be able to just take over this show.
I'm real interested to see what else he's been in. Because I haven't looked at that either, but I would love to watch more of this kid's acting chops. He's fucking killing it.
And then while after this is going on, after Nick absolutely crushes it, you see Evan vacate to go plead with Bombay to just
he goes into Bombay's office, and Bombay laying on the couch with a pillow and a blanket on. Clearly living there again. Yeah. He's for sure living in that office.
That was the first thing I thought when you brought that up. I was like, okay.
Yeah, confirmed.
Brandon was right last episode. It's confirmed. It's why he's munching on all the snacks. He's definitely living there.
Yeah, he has to be. And then so he goes and pleads to Bombay. He's like, hey, my mom's crazy. She's trying to coach us to play hockey without us actually playing hockey. Can you help us out here? Do you, like is this gonna work? Please tell me it's gonna work. And Bombay is like, no, it's definitely not gonna work.
and I'm surprised because Evan has everything that Bombay wants. It's just like, hey, Bombay, my mom is single. I play hockey. What else do you need? Yep.
That's the Bombay double special right there.
Oh, absolutely. That's his triple deke with the ladies.
Won't be a double deke. You need a third move for it to be a triple deke. But he goes. What Evan says something like, come on, you could help us. You could turn us around. Like what do the Ducks have that we don't have? The old Ducks have that we don't have. And Bombay literally goes, they had me. Yeah, that's exactly what he says to him. They had me.
I like just straight up told because he was like, they weren't so bad, but to be fair to the original Ducks, these Don't Bothers are much worse than the original Ducks team. Carp would have absolutely crushed this starting lineup. And Goldberg, even though he was very scared of the puck, was much better than Coop.
Yes. They were absolutely better because they were all already on a hockey team. Whereas these kids, they scrounged up. Just none of them really know how to skate. They're not actual hockey players. Whereas
and they're not playing hockey in their first practice.
The only one who didn't know how to skate in the first movie was Fulton.
Yeah,
that was the only one. Everybody else was already on the team, already playing, except for I forget their names, but the kid from The Adventures of Pete and Pete and his older sister.
Yeah, because they
were ice skaters, so they knew how to skate. So already a million times better than this team.
But she knows that she is in way over her head after this. Like when Evan's like, "Mom, what are you doing? We need to practice," and she's like, "Oh crap, we probably should," because their first practice, all that it reminded me of is it's just modern corporate America.
It's orientation day, yeah.
Orientation day. It's just it's like, oh my gosh, someone is going to have to say what their superpower would be.
I was honestly waiting for, because they're inevitably, at least for me, I don't know if this is just my own my own experiences, but in every single corporate orientation day, I've had at least, because they do it in groups like this one, I've had at least one person bail at lunch in every single corporate orientation I've done. It happened at Zillow the first day. Somebody bailed at lunch. It happened at my current job too. First day somebody bailed at lunch. So I was waiting for one of the kids just to get up and be like, "I'm done. I'm going."
It would have been Evan if his mom wasn't the coach and made the team.
That's true.
for him, you know what, guys, I don't think I could do this because everyone knows she's in over her head. And I love that Bombay just steadfast is like, you're okay. You need to figure this out on your own.
Yeah, well, because as Evan leaves after he has his little Bombay talk, and then Alex goes in, literally right after him.
Yeah.
And tries to convince Bombay to help, and he's shutting it down. He's like, "You're on your own. You asked for this. You got this. I hate kids. I don't like hockey. Leave me alone."
Yeah, and because isn't she she's like, "But what do we don't even have equipment."
Yeah.
Is that yet? Or no, that's after the next one. That's after the next one. Because
they have a second practice where they actually get on the ice because Evan finally talks her into being like, "Hey, our game's this weekend and we haven't even touched the ice. We need to get this going." So they finally get on the ice, and she gives them one puck for the whole practice, and she puts it down. She goes, "Okay, guys, before we get started, I want you to know this is a tiny little black circle of death."
Yes.
And just she's just trying to scare everybody so they don't end up hurting themselves.
I absolutely love that. And before they jump into this next practice, they also did a quick reminder to everyone that Stephanie is the worst, but probably the most relatable character in the entire show. Besides Nick, she's my favorite. She's crushing it. She does the worst. Such a good job. And every single person in America knows someone exactly like Stephanie. And every single person in America right now is like, "Oh my God, yes." And that person is the worst. And it's just, you tolerate them because they get shit done, but you don't want to have them come over because listening to them talk hurts your ears.
Yeah. Oh, and then speaking of Stephanie, you mentioned in the last episode that the girl at the lunch table that throws the Gatorade bottle was her daughter, and I shut you down. I said I don't think she has the son Trevor, but confirmed in this episode because she's talking to Alex and she goes, "Oh, the twins are gonna miss Evan," so the girl was her daughter. She's got twins, rocking the twins.
Yeah.
So my apologies, Heath.
It's okay. I didn't want to, you're not a pup, so I'm not going to, shove your nose in the accident that you made in the apartment. But just remember that I do tend to always be right. No, but I love Stephanie. She's great. But then she takes a little jab at her, and she's like, oh, it's very nice of you. It's just gonna be these next 10 weeks, so you can leave early for practice. And Alex is like, well, what if we make states?
Well, Alex, so this is what threw me off. Alex asks if she can leave early at 5:30. 5:30 is her leaving early. Like, I get, like, lawyers work a lot of hours, but come on, guys. Come on. What's that about? Yeah. You need to find a better job.
Work-life balance.
Exactly. Yeah.
That is brutal.
She throws Alex is like, well, not if we make states. And what does as Stephanie responds with, oh, well, only the top 2 teams make it, but I guess you wouldn't know about that. Or something like that.
Yeah. Because she is the most condescending person ever.
Yeah.
Stephanie is just,
I love it. It's
looks
fantastic.
down at her nose at everyone, and it's why everyone hates her. She's like the Vince McMahon from the mid-90s Attitude Era of the show. Couldn't you just see Stephanie for all those wrestling fans out there? Stephanie doing the Vince McMahon strut down to the ring.
She better break out that walk in one of these episodes. That'd be fantastic.
So that was that was like an interesting kind of like interchange that just kind of like it's setting up the rivalry, right? But then it basically just cuts back into them practicing. But
yes, it cuts back into them practicing.
Them on the ice.
Yeah, they're finally on the ice with the black circle of death. And Alex,
the equipment.
Yes, well, the equipment's fantastic. It's ridiculous. You got Koob with the football helmet again, just laying on the ice, not even in goal. Yeah,
just laying there, getting ice down because at least it's cool. It's cold and wet.
Yeah. And
Lauren, the female warrior, with a boomerang attached to a stick for her hockey stick. Excellent.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that until you pointed it out. I thought it was just like a hockey stick, and then when she like flicked it, it broke. But no, it was a boomerang taped to just a stick.
Yes, a boomerang taped to a stick, and just the ingenuity there to make a hockey stick. I mean, that's excellent. But it wasn't going to last long, though.
No, I'm surprised it lasted as long as it did. So you had her, and then you had Maya's equipment is probably my favorite of all of them because she's
a horse riding helmet.
Yeah, she's wearing a horse riding or like a polo helmet, and then she has a field hockey stick. Like the short little field hockey sticks, and then you compare that to Evan and Nick, who actually have like actual hockey equipment. Although Nick's wearing his old jersey from when he was 6 years old. So
yeah, Nick is wearing his Pee Wee jersey. It may need to be cut off him after practice.
Yeah. What was the team name on it? Ice Tigers, I think is what.
I think so. Nick and the Ice Tigers.
And then of course Logan. You got Logan with the $900 skates and decked out in the full Toronto Maple Leafs uniform.
Well, and he's a tripod because he can't skate, so he literally has to have his stick with him at all times, and he's just standing there the whole time. He can't move.
Yeah, you see it a couple times. You see it a couple times, like right when he like gets onto the ice. Usually, the kid that's behind him is like pushing him for a little bit just to get his speed going.
Get some momentum, get him to the middle, let him sit. But we didn't even mention it's a little bit of an Easter egg too, where Alex dumps the beach balls.
Yes,
out onto the ice for the practice.
Yeah, got the beach balls. No eggs though. No passing eggs back and forth. That would have been pretty solid. But yeah, we got the beach balls. Yeah, she throws a bunch out there. Has them skated around and try to shoot it in the goal. And she says everybody's stick has to touch it before it goes in the goal. But yeah, a little Easter egg.
And she's wild card Sam slamming into the boards.
Is that when he tries to grind the top board?
He tries to grind the top of the glass. Yeah. he's well, and then in the middle of practice, they cut over to the exchange between Evan and Bombay, and it's terrible. Like, it's a terrible exchange. And I think they were going for some comedy. I don't know if you remember this, where Bombay's like, you know who else doesn't care? This guy. And I was like, well, which guy?
That's
like,
right.
this guy. Well, yeah, you're going to have to be more specific. Which guy? This guy. It's like, listen, no, it wasn't funny. It just like, I don't know what it was. We get it. You guys need some help. You need the help from a real coach. But I guess it helped draw him out a little bit.
Yeah. It was just more old grumpy man Bombay.
Yeah.
But definitely not needed. The joke kind of
terrible
fell flat,
exchange.
but
yeah.
But so you have that practice where they at least get people on the ice. People are starting to skate. Everybody's equipment is nonsense, and then it cuts to, I believe it's like when it cuts to the pizza parlor.
Yeah.
And Alex has the fantastic idea of giving out the season awards before the season starts.
Yep.
More participation trophies. Although Evan makes a remark to Nick, because Nick is excited that he's going to get a trophy, and Evan says, "Dude, it's not even a participation trophy. You haven't participated in anything yet."
And then Nick shuts him down right away. It's like, hey, man, I don't get recognized for a lot of stuff, so let's see what she has to say.
And they're tiny little hockey trophies, but she doesn't. They're blank. They don't. There's no engraving on it. She just went to. I don't even know. She probably got them from the dollar store. They were very lackluster awards.
I mean, after the unis and everything, there probably wasn't a ton of budget left. And if she's going preseason award, the engraving was probably just, it's going to be they tend to charge per letter. So she probably was just going to shut that down.
And the awards she was giving out were very lengthy. A lot of words, a lot of letters.
Yeah, they all seemed to be working titles.
Yeah. But I mean, like, if you're gonna do something, do it right. If you're not gonna engrave the trophy, why even hand it to me? It didn't even have their names on it. It was just completely blank.
Kicking it off right too with Nick.
At least
most improved since yesterday.
Yeah. But like, at least get their.
It just feels nice to be recognized.
Yeah. He gives a great acceptance speech. I'm still upset about the not engraving though. At least engrave their names on it. It's
I mean, I get it. Like, every medal and stuff that you get as a kid in those, like, it's why Evan
worst case scenario,
just straight up like, no, this sucks.
Yeah, or like either put their names on it, or just put don't bothers. You put a team name on it, something, the year, something.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, that could have been the cheapest one. Just like, put don't bothers 2020.
Yeah.
On there, 2021.
Like, when Nick's 57 years old and he pulls that trophy out of storage, he's not going to remember what it's for. It's going to be meaningless.
It's going to be another trophy in a long line of second place hockey podcast trophies. And then Logan got best attitude. So it must have been a heck of an attitude for those 2 days.
Yeah. He does have a fantastic attitude, though. He's got his charm level is through the roof. And then Sam gets most likely to give Alex a heart attack. And then Maya's is great. Maya, this is where the vest comes back into play. Maya gets most likely to make me buy another puppy vest, which she did. She's like, which I did. It's right here. How do you like it?
and she doesn't say anything, right? She's like, oh.
Yeah, I don't think. I think she just gives like a weird.
Maya just like gives her a look, and
look. Yeah,
she's like, yeah, like, oh shit, I messed up on buying this vest too. and then Evan gets his and is just like, I can't deal with this shit anymore. Mom, can we go talk over here?
Yeah. Well, Evan's award is the person who cares the most, I think.
Yeah,
is what she phrases it. Yeah, and he's like, okay, this is we gotta change something here. This is ridiculous.
Like, Mom, our goalie is wearing an oven mitt.
Yeah. That was the other equipment thing. Yeah, Coop had the football helmet and then an oven mitt for the glove.
And also, I'm trying to build a team and a family.
Yeah. And this is where she throws the line. She doubles down again about how stress-free she wants us to be, how like this doesn't matter. She doubles down. She's like, the stakes could not be lower. It's youth sports. And it's like, that's a nice sentiment, but if that, why why are you playing? Why are we playing if you're not even going to care at all? Like, you got to care. Yeah, you can put some effort forward.
And they're about to get a very rude awakening in this first game when it comes in down the pipe. We got some more action before we get to the game, but oh my god, it's gonna be so bad. And so
well, there's not too much more action before the game. You have you have another Easter egg. You have the Bombay solo skate. So it shows a scene of Bombay. He puts the skates on. He gets the puck and the stick, and he goes out there and he's skating around. He's shooting the puck. He's remembering
circa gearing up for the first Ducks game against the Hawks. I think it's the second game.
Yes, it might even it's second or third game in the first movie because it's after they get blown out. And
then Hawks and then Hans.
Yeah, and then he's in the first one, and then in this one too. He's puts the skates on, tries to, remember what it's like to love hockey again.
Yeah.
So nice little throwback Easter egg there.
Love that. And then Alex is in the stands, empty stands, sitting there contemplating.
Yes.
What the hell did I get myself into?
She's sitting there before Bombay comes out. Yeah. She's sitting there.
Yeah.
Just mulling things over, just terrified of this game that's coming up. And then, so she goes.
The inevitable disaster.
So Bombay comes out, he does his little skate, and then she shouts at him. She's like, "What are you doing here? I own this place. What are you doing here?"
I live here.
Exactly. I live here. This is my house. And then, so she's talking with him about, like, I don't know if I'm in the right place. I don't know if I'm doing anything right. And Bombay gives her a little bit of a pep talk. And it's like, you're sitting here in the dark thinking about hockey. Sounds like a very coach thing to do. I think you're in the right place.
Got to work out those demons before the big game.
Exactly. I love that he called them demons. Got to work out those demons.
Before into the 12-year-old youth hockey game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but it's an understandable coming.
Hints.
I was going to say that the demon, him calling them demons is understandable. Because in the first movie, he's coming off a DUI. He's clearly an alcoholic. He's legit got some demons he's trying to work out so he can not ruin these peewee hockey players' lives.
He's a narcissist, alcoholic. It's rough.
Yeah. He's got some demons for sure. I don't know if Alex has too many demons per se, other than just not caring about anything.
Well, she cares too much for her kid, and it's probably a little bit of a pushover.
Yeah, she's just too worried about everything. Worry ward. That's her demons. But he gives her a little pep talk, and then Alex brings up the equipment, and it's like, "Hey, do you have any spare equipment here?"
He burned his.
Oh yeah.
No, I threw away all the hockey equipment and burned it. He says that earlier, I think.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Because he goes. She asked him if he has any spare equipment during the second practice when they're all skating around, and he goes
after the boomerang incident.
Yeah, and he goes, no, I burned all that when I gave up hockey, burned it all. And she gives him this crazy look, and he goes, that wasn't even the darkest thing I did that day.
That was an excellent line.
Yeah. So again, clearly Bombay's got a lot of demons. He's got some issues.
He's in a bad place.
Yeah.
He's in a bad place.
Yeah. He's always. I mean, the only time he's not in a bad place during all these is the third movie when he's like finally is not successful. In a bad place. Yeah. Goes back to being a lawyer. He's successful. Comes back and tells Charlie he's being a big baby and needs to suck it up. Yeah. Because the first one, alcoholic. Second one, he gets swept up in the fame. Yep. Fighting those demons.
Air Bombays, you can't blame them. I'm one of pair still. You got to bring those. Nike, where's Nike at? I hope they're listening. Let's get some Air Bombays going. We'll rock the loafers for, for the podcast.
I would kill for some Air Bombays.
Yeah, Air Bombay loafers.
Give me Air Bombays over PF Flyers any day. Any day.
Yeah. Air Force what's?
Oh, goodness.
So
but
Bombay suggests petty theft in order to take care of their equipment problem.
Yes, he mentions that the Ducks facility has a lost and found, and that they can find some stuff there. So Alex rounds up all of the 12-year-olds and brings them along on a little petty theft spree, in which so they go there. There's the front desk lady, and so Alex's great plan is to have Evan go in and ask to see the lost and found because he lost a helmet or something, so he can get into the lost and found. Then she says, once the lady comes back, that's when Logan, our heartthrob, our golden boy,
charm her away.
Her suggestion is to whore him out. She goes, you go in there, flirt with this like 45-year-old reception lady, and just give her bat some eyelashes, give her the wink, and distract her. Which he does, and he pulls it off flawlessly. Because the 45-year-old receptionist falls for Logan right away, hook, line, and sinker. She's all in. She's ready to risk it.
She just hasn't had that much attention in a very long time. I have two very quick things for this segment as well. We can't forget about Lauren bringing nunchucks to the operation, just in case she needed some backup. And Maya also mentioning that the receptionist glasses were so 2009.
Yes. Well, so my before we whore out Logan, Maya is like, I can go in there and I can tear this receptionist down. I can just belittle her, make her cry, get her all distracted, which honestly I think would have been a better plan than whoring out Logan. And I'm for sure
much better distraction. She's going to break down crying more than likely because, there's some insecurities there. You could tell she was way too glued to that phone, the receptionist when they came. So I agree with you 100%. Like Maya destroying her much better than Logan going in there and trying to do some winks and some flirts.
Yeah, then we're not catching any pedophilia charges. Keep it clean.
Awkward.
Honestly, I think the best plan would have been the nunchucks. Let Lauren go in there, female warrior style, pop old lady receptionist in the head, and then you go on your way.
one chuck to the head, and you're in, and you can take your time. You don't have to be quiet.
Logan does distract the lady for an awful long time. They're rifling through. So the plan was to go distract him, and then everybody sneaks into the lost and found.
Yeah, which. By the way, when they're doing some sneaking and she's getting ready to turn her head and Logan brings her back. I mean, is she blind? Because there's no way you're not seeing 10 people moving in your periphery.
She's blinded by the flow, Heath. Blinded by the flow.
That beautiful head of lettuce.
Exactly. You can't look away. It's like a train wreck.
So they get in there. They find Evan's magic wand, his old stick that he lost, that he nicknamed the magic wand.
The nicknames and the names in the show are just the worst.
Absolutely. I'm also curious, why that was thrown in there. It's cool. That was his magic wand hockey stick. Okay, but my favorite part was
it doesn't come back. It never comes back.
It's never going to.
It's just a dumb.
It's a throwaway line.
Yeah.
But my favorite.
At least call it something cool, like Excalibur or something. That would be a great name for a hockey stick.
When Sam does the distraction while they're in the.
Everything's going well, and he just starts knocking stuff over, causing a distraction. I got you guys.
And they did you like how they immediately cut to them just loading the stuff in the van? Because there is no possible way they could explain them getting from the equipment room with huge amounts of equipment back past the front desk.
Well, she's not at the front desk anymore because Logan had her take her on a tour, take him on a tour of the facilities.
That's right.
Yeah. So she wasn't at the front desk. They could have easily snuck back out. That one's fine. I'll let that go. So they get the equipment. They're able to sneak it back out. Nobody's wearing horse helmets or football helmets anymore. We're all ready to go.
Real hockey equipment.
Yes. Ready for game one. Ready for game one.
Game time. And the game starts out just in the best way possible with this podcast's favorite podcast, the wraparound, right?
Like, yep. Not only were they doing a live podcast from the Ducks practice, but now they're doing live broadcasts, I assume, of every game. Although I feel like for Pee Wee, wouldn't you have games going on at the same time? I don't know.
Yeah, they might have to pick and choose certain games.
But why would you pick the Don't Bother's first game against the Cardinals?
I think that maybe it's a nod to her former partner and companion, Nick the Stick, getting that first team game.
Yeah. Again, just straight away with the biases. Just no filter now. They're not a hockey podcast anymore. They're a Don't Bother podcast.
It's but before I jumped the gun, because before that, Alex had another excellent pregame speech where she was like, "Today you're gonna fall down, probably a lot."
Yeah.
It's just like right away comes in hot. Hey team, this isn't gonna go super well. You're probably gonna fall down a lot, but we're gonna have fun.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, you have the wraparound doing the broadcast. They come out and just right away. Well,
wait. Before they come out, we got to talk about the last second, Terry.
Oh, yeah.
Our good friend.
Yeah, wraparound Terry. Good old Terry.
What a great job filling in for the wraparound podcast. Her dad, Terry, I believe, he's an accountant, right?
Yes. Mary Jo, who's the other half of the podcast with Nick, they're doing the broadcast, and since Nick's playing, she has her dad Terry fill in, and she introduces him. What does she say? She says, "Here's Terry, taking some time out of his busy accounting schedule to fill in for us." And he got, with just like the most monotone voice you'll ever hear, he says, "Oh God, I'm so excited! It reminds me of tax day."
Yeah, right. He absolutely crushed it with that line. The environment in here feels like tax day. So I'm assuming there's a lot of there's a lot of adrenaline, but there's also a lot of dread happening at the same time. There's adrenaline because it's exciting. It's the first game, but we all know what is about to take place.
Oh, yeah, Terry knows. Terry's done his homework. He's scouted both teams. He knows this is not going to end well.
Of course, he's done his homework. He's an accountant.
Exactly. He's got the spreadsheet breakdown. He knows what's happening.
And I love that the Don't Bothers are so diplomatic that Evan's like, hey, you know what, Logan? You want to take this face off? Cool.
Oh, that's not diplomatic. That's the worst decision Evan's ever made. He goes, you know what would be a great idea for our very first game is let's let the guy who can't skate at all take the face off. Yeah. And so, of course, Logan loses the opening face-off, and within 2 seconds, the Cardinals score. Right
fastest score.
Yeah. And then Evan goes up to Logan, and he's like, "Dude, what happened?" And he goes, "You didn't move your stick at all." And Logan goes, "Well, I can't. If I move it, then I fall down." And then
is it Mary Jo calls him the human tripod?
Nick calls him the human tripod. I think Mary Jo does call him that later on, though, the human tripod.
Oh my God! And then it just keeps getting worse because then you got Coob over there in the goal.
He never moves. He moves his glove hand slightly, but never moves his feet, never moves his stick. He's just standing there. The worst goalie I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and we also get a nice little taste right away of what Coach T was talking about, where it's full contact. Like they're about to get roughed up. So that's and you got Alex on the bench, like, "Hey, that boy's not nice."
Yeah, just asking for the ref to arrest people. That brings up another thing I want to talk about, though, that happens in the movies as well. is there is in these movies and this TV show, there is so many 2-player hits. You know what I'm talking about? Where instead of one player checking or hitting another player, it's 2 players on the same team smashing in and checking at the same time the player on the other team.
Yeah.
That happens so often. That hardly ever happens. The only time that happens in like actual hockey is when they're against the boards and somebody else comes in. And even that's not like a full-on hit. These ones that they're showing in these shows are like, it's 2 people legit full speed running at these kids. It just doesn't make any sense and would absolutely be a penalty. It would be a charging penalty right out the gate every single time.
Yeah. But honestly, the biggest surprise to me was that the first cutaway, like when they did the first cutaway, like towards the mid end of the first period, and it was only 5-0. Like,
yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all.
It doesn't make any sense. The first goal took 5 seconds, and like the these guys like literally like the don't bothers can't move. At all. Like no one can move or follow. Like, and the goalie can't move. So like they're just like fish in a barrel shooting those up. So the fact that
it was only 5-0. I didn't catch it, but did you see if it mentioned how long the periods were? Like, did it show it didn't show anything on the scoreboard?
I think they're 15-minute periods because I think it showed 14:55 when they scored the first goal. So it's like,
and then Mary Jo mentioned that 5 seconds.
Yeah, which it wasn't 5 seconds. It was maybe 30. I mean, like maybe a half a second at the tops. But one of my other favorite parts of the in-game series is when they cut over to Coob and you just hear him kind of mumbling, just going X. X, X, X. and like Nick and Evan are like, Coob, what are you doing? What are you saying? He's like, I'm saying X. It's kick save in the game.
And then Nick goes, oh, but not in real life, Coob.
Not in real life. You gotta move your feet, which he absolutely can't do.
No, he's useless. He's completely useless because he doesn't move. He just stands there. And like you said, it's a miracle that it was only 5 goals. A miracle. Yeah.
And like they also cut to Nick absolutely getting destroyed in what you were just saying, like the 2-person like double team hit on Nick. But I guess if like they're so immobile that like they probably could just like, hey, let me just skate over here and wallop this kid really quick, and then we can do another fast break.
Yeah. Well, another thing that I forget if it happens in the movies a lot, but I've noticed in this game for sure is whenever they're showing a hockey scene or a hockey movement or whatever, there's only ever 2 people moving in the shot.
Yeah.
It's whoever's like got the puck and then one of the defenders, or on occasion another teammate is moving too. But when they go in those wide shots, it's like in the background, it's just 5 hockey players just standing there. Doesn't make any sense at all. Move. Why are we...
Another one of my favorites from the game footage, which actually is kind of damning Alex, is like, hey, you keep trying to say that you're this, like you're the nice team and you're the nice team. She was booing the other team while they were skating by her. Boo, boo, boo. Like, come on. You're better than that, coach.
Alex, those are 12-year-olds. Alex,
calm down. You're telling the Ducks to suck it. We're booing the Cardinals. Like, come on. It's just, and I did love that they played the Cardinals because I'm pretty sure that was the first team that the Mighty Ducks faced when they might have been District 5. Or no, they got crushed by the Hawks, but then they definitely played the Cardinals.
They did play the Cardinals. It wasn't. Yeah, so it wasn't their first game. It was like their 3rd or 4th game because they bring Fulton in later. He's not on the team right away, but it's Fulton's first game. Mm-hmm.
And that's where he hits those crazy slap shots. But
yeah, and everybody just runs out of the way.
Yeah. But all things considered, they didn't hardly skate at all. They couldn't move. Total disaster. Did you see the final score?
Yeah, I read it. 12-0.
12-0. That's it. I thought it was going to be at least 30.
Yeah, it's the fact that Coob can't move at all. Every shot should have gone in. So the fact that they're only getting 12 shots is ridiculous. For a team playing a team that can't move. Nobody can, outside of Evan and Nick, nobody can skate. No, everybody's just standing still.
The Cardinals should be embarrassed. That was they should have absolutely destroyed them. But so, 12-0. They did the don't bothers a favor and they didn't run them up. Maybe they just like the coach was like, hey, just quit shooting it in. Just go skate around with the puck for a while. They kind of like
kill some time.
They dribbled out the clock a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. That seems like a classy, that's a Cardinal move for sure. Classic Cardinal move.
But so post game, once again, Nick the Stick post game crushing it with the hot take recap.
Yeah. Just emotionally and physically beaten is how he describes it. And he can't feel anything under his armpits. Or below his armpits.
I wrote that down too. I can't feel anything below my armpits.
Yeah. And then Alex comes in and she goes, so that was rough, guys. We definitely did she says something about what a rough loss. And then Coop shouts from the back. He goes, wait, we didn't win? It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I blacked out there for a while. Which would explain his goalie technique if he's just blacking out.
It's why he wasn't moving. He went into his zen place.
Yeah. I know this is esports and the whole spirit of the don't bothers is to
doesn't matter if we're good or not.
Yeah, to give everybody a chance, but cut Coob. Get him out of here. He's dead weight. He's bringing
literally
zero to the table. He's not even a good locker room guy, you know? You can have some players that aren't the best, but they get the locker room going. He's not a happy-go-lucky guy. If anything, he's a drain on the locker room. With his freaking Matrix rants. Real depressing.
I think we have to cut Coob a little bit of slack. There's not a single other individual.
Your sentence went on too long. It should we need to cut Coob is what your sentence should have ended.
No, some slack. No one else on the team could survive in the goal, and he takes up the most wit.
Yes, but that does not help you. It kind of helps you.
I bet Nick would have been a better goalie.
You know who would be honestly the best goalie is Sam, the fucking wild card daredevil.
Not afraid of the puck. Yeah, wild card.
Yeah, you put him in there and you go, hey Sam. You do every puck that you get hit by, you get, we'll buy you a skateboard or some shit like that, incentivize them, or just dare him to dare him to get hit by every puck. That's what you do. You dare him. You just got to dare him.
That could have been a cool storyline. Hey Sam, I dare you to not let a goal in, and then he's just
because there's
rapid fire taking pucks off the chest.
Yes, because there is something to it to where especially. There's to want to be a hockey goalie. Goldberg mentions it in the first movie where he's like, "Is this insane to anybody else that I'm just getting hit by pucks?" So there's a certain level of insaneness of being a wild card that you have to have in order to want to be a hockey goalie. Sam would fit that perfectly. And he's nimble, he's quick, he can move. Granted, we haven't seen him skate very much, so God knows if he can translate that to ice skates. But in theory, he's quicker, he's nimble, and that means more hockey goalie-wise than just being big. If you look at a lot of the professional goalies in the NHL, they're real lean. They're tall. So a lot of them are tall, but they're lean. They're able to move quickly. They're flexible. That's really the keys you're looking for with a good goalie is somebody who can move. Size doesn't really.
Right.
Size is it helps if you have the other stuff, but the other stuff's more important.
But do those other folks have the type of saves that Coob has in NHL online gaming? Because that's the thing that they're missing. They're not crushing saves online in their basement all day.
Yes, because that obviously is what translate well. You would think
exactly.
You would think after Nick told Coob that hey, the X button doesn't work in real life, that would click with him. That maybe getting the video game guy to be the goalie wasn't the smart idea. Maybe that's where we messed up.
Yeah. Like Nick and Evan should be rethinking their decision in their recruiting process.
Yeah, that in the recruiting process, and then the decision to let Logan take the face off. What are you guys
Yeah.
doing? You're sabotaging yourself.
Yeah.
Self-sabotage.
I think we're identifying a need for like a player personnel type of position within the film authors.
Evan should definitely not be captain. I don't know why he has this. So part of the jersey reveal, sorry, for everybody else, part of the jersey reveal is Evan has the captain's patch, which I guess makes sense in the fact that he
because he gives the most fucks. Like we get it. Like he cares the most.
Yeah, but he's not like
he gives all the shits available.
He doesn't have like the coaching mentality that like Charlie had. Charlie, well, no. I mean, later Charlie in the first movie shouldn't have been a captain either. That's a whole other thing. But Evan should definitely not be this team's captain.
No, Evan's not a born leader. I think
you make
Nick.
Yeah, Nick should be captain for sure.
Yeah. I agree. But one thing I do have to say about the post game that I had to comment on is when Nick yells at his mom. He's like, "It's not fun getting your ass kicked." It's like
Evan yells at his mom.
Evan yells at his mom. He's 12 years old. If I yelled, "It's not fun getting your ass kicked" at Mama D when I was 12 years old.
In Evan's defense, he doesn't really yell it. Alex says something about
doesn't matter.
Sure, doesn't matter. He drops the ass word, which on a Disney Plus show, I was not ready for that. That was a shocker. That and the suck it line caught me way off guard. But
like whole lot of attitude coming from the Morrow clan over there.
I mean, he has a point though, because Alex talks about like, we're not in it to win, we're in it to have fun. Which I mean, he's absolutely right. Losing 12-0 is not fun at all, even in the slightest.
I agree with him 100%. And I think we talked about this on the last podcast too, where it's like, hey, the Roosters are going to come home to hatch here very soon, and it's going to be.
Is that the right phrase? The Roosters are going to.
No, it's the. No, I fucked that up. The chickens come home to hatch, or something's. Something's roosting and something's hatching.
I think it's the Roosters come home to crow. No, that's not it either. Oh, so somebody let us know. Somebody let us know what the phrase is. Anyway, go ahead. It's
let the chickens come home to roost.
Chickens come home to roost. Okay. Yeah. So that's definitely what they did. The Cardinals came home to roost in this episode.
Cardinals came home to roost. I can't believe he got away with it. But my mom would have grabbed me by the back of the head, drugged me out of there, and just started walloping for that amount of disrespect. But he does kind of offset the disrespect. Like, okay, it was frustrating. But then he's like, hey, let's go practice. Like, we should finally actually get a real practice. And
let's finally teach people how to skate. Let's start there. That was
properly.
That was
phase one.
Yeah, that was his first smart captain move. Was like, hey, I mean, he didn't even honestly wasn't even that great of a captain's move because he didn't invite anybody else. He just went back on the ice and started skating, and everybody else was like, well, if he's going to do it, we might as well do it too. So the captaincy, you need a little more communication to be a solid captain there, Evan.
Yeah, but he has been botching the captaincy very heavily. And what is it? What does Alex say? Well, I guess I got to learn hockey now.
Yeah, she goes. I guess I actually have to learn, or I guess I have to learn actual hockey now. Why? This is just dawning on you now.
It's way too late in the game for her to just be having this realization. That should have happened before the first game kicked off.
Yes.
Like that's, but did you hear the old kind of Ducks melody in the back though when they were doing the skating around and they were practicing that music coming back? It brought all those good feelings from my youth.
Yes, back. The soundtrack for the show is fantastic because that's one of the multiple times they've brought back. It's not the exact same music. It's remixed and redone. It's a little slower than usual, more dramatic, but it's the same melody for sure. And they played it. I think it started at the very beginning of the first episode, and then they played it at the end of this one, and I think a couple more times throughout these first two episodes. But yeah. Getting the nostalgia, the goosebumps going.
Oh, that was because it's a good reminder of how good the movies are, because right now, just initial first 2 episode assessment, I think we are living in a state of mediocrity when it comes to this series. And I think that's where that's the wheelhouse. There's nothing, it's not really I just feel like it's not gonna peak any higher than these first 2 episodes.
No, I enjoyed the first episode. The second episode I enjoyed less, but I think what we said last episode, where this is stretching, it's a good show. It's definitely not going to be a great show, and at no point am I expecting any of these episodes to be great. Even for when they those leaked photos of the reunion episode, even when that hits, I'm not expecting it to be fantastic. So yeah, I'm expecting mediocrity with maybe a slight blip into good for some of these. Probably not even a whole episode, but certain scenes will probably be good. But I think this is as good as you can do something like this. And the more I these first 2 episodes, if the kind of format keeps going the way it is, it honestly didn't need to be a series. The story they're trying to tell, it could have easily, I'm assuming it could easily have been cut down to an hour and a half, 2 hour,
hour 45
movie, and then but
I agree.
Series are more profitable now.
It is fun to live back through the nostalgia with the Easter eggs and all that kind of stuff. But
speaking of
we'll
Easter,
have some fun with it.
Speaking of Easter eggs, we missed this on the first one, but it pops up in this other episode as well. Is the middle school that all these kids go to is District 5 Middle School.
Oh yeah, you're right. How could we miss District 5 Middle School? Wow.
I mean, they don't. I don't think they ever say it. There's just you see the sign a couple times. District 5 Middle School.
Yeah. Going just one last thing on the show. There was a sequence. One of the sequences where she was just hanging out in the office, chit chatting with Bombay. It just went on a little bit too long, and I think I even texted you or told you that I accidentally stopped paying attention and had to run it back really quick, because I busted out Instagram really quick to aimlessly scroll and about once it went on to the next scene, I was like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be paying attention to talk about the show. So I had to go back and rewatch it, because they kind of lost me a little bit. But I still think that Nick the Stick is going to be able to provide some solid gold for us in the coming episodes.
Yeah, I think Nick the Stick's going to be good. They're definitely gonna play the love interest, both for Bombay and Alex. It's gonna happen. They planted the seeds with the Whitney Houston scene at the end of the first episode. There wasn't too much other than the solo skate actually had a little bit of romantic tension.
Yeah, there was some flirting. There was a little back and forth going on there.
That's definitely gonna happen. So that I'm interested to see that.
I like Maya and Lauren. I thought they did a good job of kind of building their characters. Like Lauren, the female warrior that is going to have an existential crisis, and then Maya kind of playing up the mean girls aspect.
Yeah, Maya was probably my favorite this episode.
Yeah, with
the 2017 lines and then her ridiculous equipment. She killed it in this one. So there, and I think that hopefully that'll be the benefit of the series, is you build the kids' characters a little more. Whereas in the movies, other than Charlie, Banks, and
Fulton,
those are really the top 3 that get that get actual character development. Everybody else there's no character development. It's Averyman is Averyman all 3 movies. Goldberg's Goldberg, all 3 movies. There's no real big character development for any of these. So hopefully with the series and the longer runway they have, they can build these kids up a little more.
I agree. I think I mean no matter what, we're in it for the long haul. So let's these ducks are going to fly together. Or I guess if we're the Cake Eaters podcast, do these hawks fly together? I don't know. It's not worth winning if you can't win big. Someone needed to teach that to the Cardinals so they'd run up that fucking score.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they don't have anybody bashing their head at their helmets with hockey sticks. You know, they just
don't make them like Coach Riley anymore.
They don't. Oh God, R.I.P. I miss Coach Riley. I have a soft spot for Coach Riley. That's why, so heartbroken with the stupid Hawks colors. I'm still upset about that. I'm never gonna let that go. How do you change the Hawks colors? It's goddamn bullshit. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to create and distribute a podcast, and it's completely free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone and computer. Anchor will help you distribute your podcast so that it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. Anchor also helps you monetize your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today.
A quick message from our friends at Broken Forest Collective. Built on a passion for small batch and handcrafted products, Broken Forest provides high-quality casual wear and lifestyle goods that are American-made and built to outlast the fast fashion trends. They also plant a tree in Boulder, Colorado for every product sold. Visit brokenforestco.com and use the code CakeEaters15 for 15% off your order.
Episode 3 is this is going to be our little payoff, one of our little payoffs here, because we finally get the Ducks matchup. They're playing the Ducks.
If we thought 12-0 was bad, it might be 100-0 by the end of this Ducks, because Coach T. I mean, do you think Coach T wants to bury them, or do you think they are so insignificant to him that he can't even be bothered with them? He is not bothered.
I think he's gonna run it up. Yeah, he's definitely. I would not be shocked if Coach T is from the Coach Riley coaching tree.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. He former Hawks assistant.
Yes,
he
probably played for the Hawks.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got that vibe to him. So he's got to be in the Coach Riley coaching tree.
Okay.
I would love. I would love it if they made some sort of reference to that, or
if they went into that. I
what if he's what if he's like Riley's son, or grandson, or something like that? That'd be pretty sweet.
Or bastard child, bastard love child.
What if? Oh no, this would be too many things to unravel. I was gonna say, what if he was Riley's bastard son and Bombay's half brother? So Coach Riley banged Bombay's mom, and then Coach T popped out.
That's like a midday soap opera.
Yeah,
the Days of Our Lives plot.
Yeah, that's too many things going on. But he's got to. He's gonna run it up. He's got to.
All right. So they're playing the Ducks. You think Coach T's going to run up? I think he has to. It's just in his nature. It's in his character.
Yeah, it's definitely in his character. So it's got to. Yeah, it's going to be something ridiculous, I imagine. It has to be worse than 12-0. It has to be.
It's probably going to be they're probably not going to get too carried away. So I bet it's 25 or 30.
Yeah,
it's going to be something bad.
I don't even know if it'll be that much. They'll probably. It's going to be worse than 12-0, though.
Okay.
It's going to be worse than 12-0.
We'll see. I'm intrigued.
I don't know if they'll take it into the 20s. Because I mean, our original prediction for this Cardinals game was 30 or 40 goals, and they only did 12. So I would imagine it's going to be worse than 12-0, but I doubt they'll go into the 20s.
You're probably right.
But so quick little rundown of the next episode here. So they're playing the Ducks. Alex is determined to become a real coach. Evan is turning on the Sophie strategy again, trying to get Sophie. Him and Nick are trying to get Sophie on the team. Okay. Based on the little preview or whatever, we're gonna get a little Bombay backstory.
Okay.
I don't know how deep they're gonna dive into it, but we're gonna get a little bit of Bombay of how Bombay got here.
We got we got
in the
a
little
Ducks blowout. We've got some Bombay backstory.
Mhm.
We've got Alex realizing once again that she made a terrible decision to coach this team.
Yes, yeah. So I'm assuming Alex realizing how terrible of a coach she is, she's gonna go to Bombay. She's gonna plead with him to help, and then that's when we get, he's gonna be more old man Bombay, and then she's gonna be like, what the fuck happened, dude? You gotta this mysterious thing is getting real old.
This old codger routine is not charming anymore. Like,
Yeah.
do you want to get with this single mom or not?
Yeah. Yeah, you're not getting in my bed unless you get behind the bench, Bombay.
I mean, we'll see. There's some intrigue there. I just like, is there any way Sophie's parents would let her on this disaster of a team? Because like, I get deep down, like, who would, when you're on the bad guys team and you don't fit in with the bad guys, but I don't know. I just think there's no way dad cheering at the first practice. There's no way that guy is he was cheering at a practice, the first one.
Yeah. I don't know. It depends on, I guess it depends on how strict they want to be about, like, league rules and stuff. Because like the first
college applications.
Well, I mean, like the showrunner, like the plot, not necessarily her parents, but because like in the first movie, they force Banks onto the Ducks.
Yeah,
because his dad's vehemently opposed to it. They force Banks onto the Ducks. So this one, that doesn't seem like they're not following district lines or anything like that. But you might not. Maybe you don't need parent permission. Maybe she can just lie and be like, "Oh, I'm hurt. I can't play hockey anymore." Although I don't know how she'd get away with that lie. They seem like too overbearing to do that. But maybe she just hops over and is like, "Deal with it, bro."
We'll see. We will see the recruiting strategy. Hopefully they do better than the positioning that they did initially.
That's if she even hops over. I'm kind of hoping she doesn't. At least not yet. I feel like if you're not going to do it in the first episode, you should. I feel like episode 3 is too early.
Yeah.
Well, but with them playing the Ducks, maybe there's a breaking point. Maybe Coach T flies off the handles or starts smashing kids with hockey sticks.
Yeah. Well, and maybe he goes headhunting. Like the Hawks did, and he's like, "What'd you do?" "My job." Do you remember that?
I love that scene.
My job. real sociopathic kid there. So yeah, but I'm.
He's just following orders, Heath. Can't He's being a good soldier.
I feel like our preview chat here got me more excited for episode 3 than I initially was. So I think I'm geared up. I think I'm ready. The embarrassment that is Alex's coaching philosophies to continue to be on full display. And, she's going to rue the day that she told Coach T to not bother.
Hopefully they draw out this terribleness a little more. I have a feeling like after they're definitely going to lose to the Ducks. You can't. They have to. The first time around, you have to lose to the Ducks.
Yeah,
just like they did with the Hawks, just like with Team Iceland, just like with varsity. It's like with any like trilogy movie or whatever. You lose the first battle and then you come back and you win the second battle. So they're going to lose this game.
That first battle, that's where the lessons were learned, and then
exactly, just like
finale.
Yeah, like Infinity War. You got to lose first so you can win, or Empire Strikes Back, all that stuff. You gotta lose first.
The Empire has to strike back before the Jedi can return.
Exactly. So they're gonna lose this one, but I'm hoping. I don't know. I feel like after that, there's gonna be some bullshit magic answer to why they're all of a sudden a great team now. And then they're going to win every single other game. But hopefully it's not that quick of a turnaround.
You know what it is? All of a sudden, Logan, the light clicks. He becomes the greatest skater in the Twin Cities area.
Somebody needs to teach that kid to fucking skate. How are we not like at least all the other ones except for Coob? Somebody needs to teach Coob how to fucking skate too. But all the other kids at least have shown that they are able to skate. But Logan and Coob, they don't move at all. Somebody teach them how to skate. Somebody teach those kids how to fucking skate.
Embarrassing. Well, episode 2 was awesome. I'm ready for episode 3, Brandon, and I'm ready for us to break this down because we're really going to see this 25-0 bloodbath of the Ducks.
Oh, can't wait! With that, we'll talk to everybody next week.
Have a good week.